It's a beautiful day in Washington, D.C., and we are happy to have you to join us in the Kennedy Center Cultural Caucus D.C. Legendary Musicians Oral History Interviews, featuring one of the nation's capital greatest harmonica players ever. This is the second or third of the series of six interviews of oral history documentation of the DMV's fantastic musicians. Washington, D.C. is the mecca for many greats from Duke Ellington to Marvin Gaye to Memphis Gold, the world renowned Clovers, Mark Werner and the Nighthawks, Manny Kellogg, the late Jimmy Cobb, tenor saxophonist Carter Jefferson, Ron Holloway, Davy Yarborough, trumpet player Michael A. Thomas, R&B trumpeter Curtis Pope, guitarist Greg Gaskins, Skip Pitts, Jackie Lee, Jimmy Smooth, Chuck Brown, and just too many to name here and now. DC is that city of musical matchless, with the home of the Howard Theater, the Kennedy Center, and the DMV is just rich with great musicians and vocalists. I like to say that we are not just a city of politicians, but the home of a plethora of great musicians and great music. Jay Sommerour, welcome to this historic event. Tell me, tell me, Jay, when did you decide to play the harmonica, and when did you know that you could really play?
Well, it was years before I thought I could really play. But when I was 7 years old, I took trumpet lessons at Rock Terrace Elementary, which was a Negro elementary school in Montgomery County before integration. And my grandfather, Smack Martin, he played harmonica and guitar. And I used to go over to the lane in Rockville and work on bicycles with my cousin. And my grandfather gave me a harmonica. My uncle came out the house. He said, "Boy, say go over there and talk to your grandfather. Let him teach you how to play that thing." So I picked up my stuff. I said, "Okay, I go over there, Uncle Richard. I go over there." So I went over there, and Granddaddy always, showed me stuff, and he was always playing the guitar sitting out in the yard. So I liked it, but I played trumpet till I was like in middle school. But I always kept a harmonica because a bunch of old black guys used to go in this guy Big Cliff's backyard in Lincoln Park in Rockville. And they would sit back there every weekend and they would play music the whole weekend, playing blues and all kind of music. But matter of fact, Mr. Warner, the guy that I play with now, he used to go back there too, and my grandfather and my grandfather's brother. And there was just a lot of them. I mean, they played some down, home, gut bucket blues, but I liked it. I loved it, for some reason I loved it. And I guess it was hard to find young guys that was interested in the music like that, in the blues like that. But I just, kept on doing it. I would play by myself. My grandma would tell me go in the backyard and I sit by the railroad tracks in the backyard and play my harmonica, and I was satisfied. But I always liked it. But I wanted to be a baseball player. That was my goal in life, to be a baseball player. But I was in an accident, and I guess like 75, I was in a bad car accident, and I couldn't play baseball no more. My baseball career was over with. And I really got into playing music a lot after that. I started going out down in DC and sitting there with a bunch of people. And I had already met a bunch of people, like playing, because I used to work on like stage crews for
Mhm.
national attraction, like at the Baltimore Civic Center and Hope, Meriwether, a whole bunch of places. And so I met a bunch of people like James Cotton and
Wow.
just a whole bunch of people. And then growing up, like when I was young, my mom used to play softball. So they had a club called the Wonderettes. And they used to have, and a lot of my family members, they like Edward Johnson. That was he had married my aunt's sister, and they had a place called Johnson Park in Emory Grove. And then my friend Joy Davis, her father, and Hootie Davis, their dad had a park in Boyd's called Oak Haven Park. And then my uncle, his dad on Robert Duval, he owned a Dewdrop Inn. So I was always
What?
hearing me call it Dewdrop Inn. And then they had Fishman Hall in Rockville, and like Etta James, Little Richard, James Brown, um, the Drifters, everybody went there and played at these places. It was a chill part of the chilling circuit.
Yeah, and you know what? Your friend, we are talking about going down to visit with him so we can see that and see the museum. But
Oh yeah.
listen, you know, my grandfather played harmonica too,
Uh huh.
and he used to sit. I'm a DC girl, so
Uh huh.
he sat on Cochran Street in our house. I think we were the only house that had this
Uh huh.
almost like a sliding board, and down at the end of this, it was cement though.
Uh
But down
huh.
at the end of it, it was like a little seat, and my grandfather used to sit on that seat because he sold ice,
Uh
and
huh.
but he was a candy maker. So when
Yeah.
he came home, he would sell the ice, and then he would be sitting on that little stoop playing his harmonica,
Come on,
and
yeah.
he bought each one of us a harmonica because you know we
Yeah.
didn't really know. We was just breathing in and out and making noise.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
interesting to know that you played trumpet, and but what made you choose the harmonica after you played trumpet?
I just always loved that sound. I love the sound. Like you said, like a lot of the older guys played harmonicas. I mean, it was an instrument you could keep with you in your pocket, you know.
Okay.
And I always just I loved it. I loved the sound of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when did you start to playing professionally?
Um, I guess around in the 70s and after the 70s I started going downtown and sitting in with a bunch of bands, and then I worked for the Starland Vocal Band. I worked for them. I was like a stage manager for them, and I just went around town with John Carroll and Mike Carter and a guy named John Harbison, and then I ran to Sonny Terry and James Cotton and a whole bunch of people like the Desperados and Cellar Door, and I started going the road with a band called Silver Spring. I traveled with them for a while, and Small Talk, and then I after that I'm trying to think. I did so much.
But listen, let me
I,
ask you
it's,
this though. I hear now. I hear the harmonica in a lot of different genres of music. It's not just
uh-huh,
only in the blues anymore. And
uh-huh.
so, tell me, what made you choose um, the blues genre rather than R&B or something else?
Well, because I was around blues musicians, like I say, these juke joints. Like I would go with my mom at night in the parking lot and listen to Etta James sing at Fisherman's Hall because it was so hot in there, and they would open up the doors and you could hear it out in the parking lot. And then my mom and them, they would play cards. Back then, people played cards. They stayed in the yard and had barbecues. And my mom played the blues all the time. I guess that's what she grew up on, like by her father being a blues musician.
Well, you know what? And I noticed you saying that she belonged to a club. Now, back
Uh-huh.
in the day when I was little, black people had lots of social clubs for,
Yeah.
for different reasons.
Hmm.
And I think sometimes I would wonder why we had all those social clubs. And I think it maybe had to do with the fact that we were sort of isolated, within ourselves. And then I remember back in the day when people used to play tonk on Saturday night. They played tonk all night long. Uh, and then they played bid whist,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And some of those games had to do with the fact that those were clubs who were actually raising money, and they
Yeah.
had music. I remember my grandmother cooking chicken and chitlins, and
Yeah.
on Friday and Saturday, that's what they did. They sold chicken and chitlins,
Yeah,
um,
they did.
yeah, and all that. But it's just so interesting that you chose, I mean, because when I look at you, I'm thinking about you being a younger man, and I'm
Mhm.
always thinking when I see blues players, I'm thinking about an older man, another generation behind or yeah, behind us.
Well, that's what I, like, and I stayed to myself a lot playing because, like you say, like younger guys didn't pay attention to blues and stuff like that when I was coming up. But I did, and I would go to my grandfather's house and we would sit down and play together. But I just always liked it. I have to run into people like James Cotton and Sonny Terry and Junior Wells and people like that gave me more initiative to go out and do it. So I
Uh-huh.
did do it, yeah. And like you say, I heard blues all the time because my mom them had the social club, but like they had a softball team. So that's what the women did. They played softball and they would get together and have dances to raise money. They would play
Yes.
cards in the yard and the music would be jumping and it would be blues. Hand
That's
dance.
real. That's
Yeah,
real. That is really real, Jay.
yeah.
That's real because it takes me all the way back. It takes me back to Wilmer's Park where they had baseball games,
That
and
was one
then
of the places.
yeah, they had my uncle was the promoter. He
Mhm.
promoted the music at Wilmer's Park for Mr. Arthur, and they
Okay.
they had the baseball game, and right after the baseball game, they would have Ray Charles or James Brown, and Ray Charles as soon as he tell me what I say,
Yeah.
everybody get to fight.
But that's what it was. We would go at night to see what happened, because somebody want to get to fighting.
Yeah, yeah, that was the thing. I mean, but
But
here's the thing about that. Yes, they would get to fighting, but there was nobody shooting.
ain't nobody
There
shooting and
was
killing.
nobody.
Nah,
I mean, they get to fighting as soon as they got finished fighting, they be dancing
they
all
be
over
back together.
again.
They be back together, having a drink together. But
Yeah,
it's like that's just how it was. That's what they had to do. I could go out on a weekend and somebody be having a dinner. They be selling chicken and fish, and they would call the kids in and say, "Boy, you ate yet? Say, come over and get this sandwich." And they would give you a chicken sandwich. You walk on this big chicken sandwich,
yeah.
grease running down your arm. But
But the other thing too about that is in DC, and I'm supposing that where the area where you came from in Maryland,
uh-huh,
there was music all around our streets, in our neighborhoods. You could go
everywhere.
outside and go to the next corner, and there'd be a band sitting on the corner playing music. Or
Oh
you go
yeah,
downtown, and that lady that played the guitar, there was a
yeah,
lady that sat in front of Murphy's and played the blues, played the guitar, and then the other man who was the blind man that sang at Ninth and F.
yeah.
So it was music everywhere.
Well, that's just like Mr. Warner. Mr. Warner, we have a band called Little Bit of Blues, and I would I've been hanging around him for like 40 years, and we would go all around. He knew everybody. He grew up down on New Hampshire Avenue, down by what is that, Trinity College. He
Hmm.
grew up down there, and him and his dad would catch the streetcar and go around playing music down Foggy Bottoms. He told me all
Yes.
kind of stories. But he would take me around playing music in all these places where he knew people that he used to hang around with. And he used to play with a band called the Morocco's, and I remember them when I was little because they used to play like in Pamunkey, Maryland, and all those places. Waldorf. They had shows and stuff, but I don't know. Times have changed, and people don't do that no more. But that's how I grew up,
Well,
and
we sure do miss it, I'll tell you that. Well,
yeah.
why don't you do this? Why don't you hit a couple notes for us and let the people hear you? Let them know what some of the real music might be. All right, Jay. And you know what? Lady Mary, I just saw Lady Mary pop up and Ida Campbell from WPFW. And
Uh-huh.
one I always like to say that I sometimes I say I had him or he my boy, Jackie Lee. Because Jackie Lee,
Uh-huh.
the guitar player that used to play with Hip Time, and
Uh-huh.
Jackie has been playing since he was a kid as well. And they used to rehearse down in my basement. My poor neighbors, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
they, they played down in the basement. They would come up and play. So he's been playing a long time, and I just wanted to mention, the fact that they are on and watching. But
But
let's go back. Go ahead. You get ready
but
to say something.
Jackie, my friends tried to take me in there for a long time. Georgine Fontaine, he knows her, and she goes down there all the time. I think his place down in DC.
Uh huh. Uh
Yeah.
huh. Well, now one of the other questions, what I think about is I met you through Bill Wax,
Mm-hmm.
when we had the panel discussion on that wonderful guy called Bill Wax,
Uh-huh.
who is also a programmer of the WPFW. Um, he was insisting. Now, he didn't just ask me or tell me that you should be on the panel. He was insisting
Uh-huh.
that you and Mark Werner be a
Yeah.
part of his panel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I said that to say that we established a sort of kind of a friendship. And the thing
Uh-huh.
that's interesting to me about that is it just jumped off right away. It was just like, oh, here's another one of my soul brothers. That's
Yeah.
the way I felt about the way the relationship that we've established and the information that you have even given me. Just talking about Dewdrop Inn
Uh-huh.
knocks me out. Because there was a Dewdrop Inn in New Orleans as well, right
Every
outside of Kenner. And that was where Lloyd Price and that crew out of New Orleans
mm-hmm.
played. So talk to me a little bit more about the Dewdrop Inn and how that, what was going on there.
Oh, that was a nice place. They had pool tables and dances there, and bands would come there and play. Then they had a ball diamond out back, so people would do just like you said. People would go to the ball game and just play ball all day long. They'd have teams come from Upper Marlboro, and then afterwards they would have a dance in the Dewdrop Inn. So that was a pretty well-known place. It was one
I
of the
mean, and
bigger
we had
places
so
around
much
here.
fun.
That and
You
Oak
know,
Haven Park, and
it just seemed like
oh
we
yeah, it
had
was a
so much
blast.
fun
It was a
because we were
blast.
talking
I was
about
too young to really go in there.
yeah, well, me too, actually, back then. Because when I think about Pat and
Yeah, I was too young
Gigi's,
to go in, but yeah, but I was too young to go in. But Bub Duval, who owned the place, my uncle's dad, my first cousin lived with them. So I would go up there and visit them, but he wouldn't. He told me, said, JJ, you can't come in here. Say, you too young. Say, your mother will have a fit. But I would stay outside and listen to the music. I'd hang out around the people outside, and we listen to the music. We should have been home, but we was hanging out, listening to the music.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is with all the things that you do, you're also a great family man. Your beautiful wife, Paula, and I understand you have two beautiful daughters. That are either of them in the business?
When they were little in elementary school, we did a show at the elementary school. Yeah, it was a talent show, and one of them played the keyboard, and my wife played the juice harp, and Mike Baytop played the guitar, and I played the harmonica, and Amber, my youngest one, she
Hmm.
sing Etta James song. I'm going up, I'm going down, and look, and she sang that song, and people came to us after the show and asked us, did we do shows? But could they hire us? So
That's
that's one
beautiful.
thing we've done together.
That,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
But they
But
didn't
I
play one of them.
I also understand that your girls are professionals. Tell me a little bit about what they do.
Well, one of them is a consultant, and the other one is a dental hygienist.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So Amber has a job for the government being a consultant, and she has a real estate license.
Okay.
Yeah, doing commercial real estate. Yeah,
Well, yeah, well, they're smart. They're smart girls,
and I can't
and
tell you where a government job is because it's secret, top secret.
okay. And guess
Can I
what?
tell
I don't,
you?
and I don't want to
Yes,
know either.
I can't tell. Yeah, but
No.
hers is. But Danielle is a dental hygienist. Yep, and they're
Well,
wonderful kids,
go ahead.
and they're very artistic. Both of them in the arts and stuff. They do ceramics, and Danielle paints a lot. So both of them are into the arts and stuff. Yeah,
Well, your life, it seems to me, is inspired by God's grace. And
yeah, yeah.
so, tell me, in your opinion, what are the next steps, and where do you see yourself in another 5 years?
Well, right now I got my wife out. My wife actually went into the studio with me last week to do a CD with this guy, and she plays a Jews harp, and she played on a CD with me last week. So I hope we can do more stuff together. And
Yes.
I'm gonna have to get. I'm gonna try to get another band together, and probably go on the road after this pandemic is over with. So I've been talking to some people, and I hope we can get together and go on the road. Yep.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is I want to let the people know that we will also be doing a show at the Kennedy Center on July the 21st. And you and Memphis Gold will be performing together with Lady Murray and the In the House Band um,
Yeah.
for a time on that show. And then, of course, afterwards, Lady Mary and the In the House Band will perform. And it's gonna be a blowout
It's gonna
because
be fun. It's
yeah,
gonna,
we're gonna be outside, so we can't blow the roof off the sucker.
yeah.
So, but
We
it's
can
gonna
make you
be
move though. We can make
yes,
you
you can.
move. But I was, that's another thing too. So Memphis and I will probably do a lot of stuff together because he started to do some acoustic stuff, and he has a banjo that he's been working with. So we plan on doing some stuff, and we plan on playing at John up at John Brown's cabin at the Shamrock Inn. When
Uh-huh.
that gets done, we plan on playing there. We have played there before, Memphis and I. So we plan
Okay.
on doing some stuff together also.
That's awesome. And I want to express again to those people who are our listening audience, and as I told you before,
Mhm,
this is going to be submitted to the Kennedy Center Cultural
mhm,
Caucus, and it will go into their archives. But
mhm,
one of the things that I want to say that's most important to our young musicians and musicians as a whole is that you have to document your history. Because if
mhm.
you don't document it, someone else will, and they will write it the way they want it to be,
Yeah,
or they'll write you out of it. When you
yeah,
look up, you'll be like the Cowboys. I found this out not too long ago. I didn't always know that the
yeah.
first Cowboys were black.
With black
I-
cowboys.
They were black Cowboys, and the reason
Yeah,
they called them Cowboys was because they were black men, and they like
yeah,
to call black men boys. So they
yeah,
decided
yeah.
to call them Cowboys.
Boys, yeah, I
And
just saw
so,
yeah,
and the way that they wrote the history, did we not know that the Ranger was black? We didn't know that. So they
yeah,
wrote it, and it looked like the Lone Ranger was, on the other side there.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm just saying to us, the purpose of this hard work that Michael and I are doing, and now he has
Mm,
put together a group of technicians, Jackie Lee and James
uh-huh.
Cunningham. They're working together to help us, along with Michael's son, to
Mm,
document this great history. Because once again, I can't say it too much.
mm,
If you don't document your own history, it is up
yeah,
to us to do that.
to
We
do
can't
that. Yeah,
expect anyone else to do it. They will either write you out of it. And if you think I'm kidding, come down to Southwest and look at Anthony Boyne and all the hard work that this man did. And
yeah.
when you come through here, the house he lived in is gone. The church that he established is now up northwest on
Mm,
14th Street. I mean, they just came through, wiped out all the man's history. The
Yeah.
school that was named for him is now closed. I
Mm.
mean, and I'm trying to get this through to us because when I
Yeah.
went in the precinct where the school used to be and asked them who was Anthony Bourne, the young lady behind the desk who was black as me didn't know even know what I was talking about. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what?
That's
Uh,
really
uh, uh,
that's
uh.
really. But
That's not acceptable.
Sandra, you know one thing, I really want to say one more thing. I want to thank Ida for her support too. When I
Yes.
played at Bill Street Grill in Gaithersburg, Ida would come all the way up there and sit in with me in Memphis and sing and play. And
Hmm.
it made me feel really good to know I had her support. She came many times to see us and support us. And I want to thank Bill Wax, the same thing. Bill Wax took us in Sirius XM studio, and me and my wife and Warren and Eric, and we sit in the studio, and he said, just play what you want to play. And we did like, I think maybe 15 songs on one CD. And Bill has always tried to put us out there. He played our first CD, I think, on PFW, and he always just was pushing us. And he got a little bit of blues of where they were today, and he gave us our best CD, I think. Yeah, but I want
But
to thank him.
that's who he is, and that's what he
Yeah.
does. I mean, he's very I found him to be very encouraging, and I
Hmm.
also found Ida Campbell to be a great support. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, she is.
yeah, she will come out and do,
Yeah.
and not only that, but she has the opportunity on her show. She
Hmm.
will, she and uh I was her co-host at one time, and what
Hmm.
was most important to me was that we featured DC musicians,
Yes,
you
she
know,
does.
because we have great musicians here. And what I found out in working with James Brown and Ray Charles,
Hmm.
I found out that they come and they tap our musicians, they take them with them, and they
Hmm.
don't get the credit that they so deserve as great as they
Yeah.
are. And so that's another reason that I'm picking and choosing
Hmm.
musicians like you,
Yeah.
Mark, um, all the musicians that I can get to
Yeah,
when I
that's
have the
true.
opportunity to do these wonderful interviews, oral history interviews, and hoping that we will get funded for the next series of 6. But why don't you play another, get us for one more time?
And you know the thing, I really appreciate you too.
I appreciate you as well.
You're wonderful.
Thank you. Now, this was a really a great interview and very informative. What is it? Is it anything else, Jay, that you would like to mention or you would like to talk about as far as you're concerned, or the music world? Just spill it out and talk about it.
Well, I talk to a lot of people, and I feel, well, I've been told by a lot of older musicians that talking to people was even better than playing, because they told me you have to feel the blues. You can see it on a piece of paper, but ain't nothing like feeling it. Like it's people that actually read music that can't improvise, and they hate it. But that's why a lot of older musicians, that's what they always say, that you had to improvise. I've been around like Honey Boy Edwards, Louisiana Red, um, John Cephas, Junior Wells, and James Cotton, and all these people. Like they, I really just and like their encouragement to push you to play music. Cause they want to lead somebody. They want to lead the music here, you know. And I really appreciate people like that, And I don't know. I really miss a lot of them, especially like Junior Wells. Like he would sit down and talk to you for days, and James Cotton the same way. And I don't know. That's how I want to be. I want to push the young guys and just leave them something. That's what I want to do.
That is fantastic. And one
Yeah.
of the other things that I think about you as a harmonicist, and it's almost as if they have pushed it off of the scene because you don't run into many young people who play the harmonica. You don't see
Mm-hmm.
that. So most of the guys are older, um, older guys that play harmonica. And what I
Yeah.
would really like to see now, our last oral history conversation was with Paul Carr, who is a
Mm-hmm.
jazz saxophonist.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the greatest things was that Paul decided to open an institute. And so he teaches
Mm-hmm.
music. And so maybe you might want to think at some point about maybe going, doing an online class or something because it looks like it's easy,
Yeah.
but it's not easy. And I think just remembering from a child with
Mm-hmm.
I told you my grandfather bought all of us harmonicas and we was going
Mm-hmm.
in and out. It's an art to it, and so if the kids can learn that art, and who better to
Yeah.
learn it from than you?
Yeah, well, I've had a couple of students and they really enjoyed it. And then I go out to Washington State to Port Townsend, and they have a place called Centrum out there, Centrum Blues Week. So I
Mhm.
go out there with like Phil Wiggins, and I went out there with John Cephas, Taj Mahal, and Mark Perrier, Mike Baytop, and a lot of us go out there and teach, and it's a lot of fun. And then they had one in Elkins, West Virginia, at Davis and Elkins College. They had one up there. I've been there too, but I really want to see the music keep. I don't want it lost. I don't want the
Exactly,
blues lost.
exactly. What I wanted to
Yeah.
do too, before we leave this platform, I wanted to reach out, and if anyone has any questions, if they want to come on and ask you a question about your career,
Mm-hmm.
um, or if Michael has any questions about it, then Michael, would you let them ask the questions, or you ask questions for them?
So I'm back here. No, I don't have any questions. Thank you so much, Jay. Dude, you're a bad brother. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you, thank
yeah,
you,
man.
thank
The
you.
music was great. Um, but if anyone else has a question, just unmute yourself. Come on, jump on in here and say your piece. Ada, you look like you got a question.
So, Jay, this past Friday, I dedicated my show to two harmonica players.
Oh,
I did. And I'm going to play some more harmonica uh, uh, um, music on. No, I can't do it this Friday. I'm sorry. Because they're doing from 9 to 7, they're doing a tribute to Angela Davis. And I'm doing
okay.
mine on my regular show. So I'm on from
Mm-hmm.
12 to 1 talking about Angela Davis.
Uh-huh.
But next week I'll be doing the same thing. And some people called and wanted to know why I was doing it. I'm like, I wanted to say, dude, I know you like blues, but you must not really know. But the thing about it is, I enjoy harmonica music, and I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed it when I went to meet James Cotton down at Blues Valley.
Yes. Yes.
And from then on, I'm like, I'm done. I'm in with the harmonica player. And I know that that cannot be an easy thing
Yeah.
because sometimes, I mean, everybody has a signature and harmonica players do too. So what would you consider your sound to be in the blues?
I don't know.
That's the only question I have.
I do like a train sound mostly and deep drawers, but I've learned a lot from James Cotton. I used to sit around with James Cotton in Desperados in DC. We used to sit in the dressing room back there and play all the time. And matter of fact, I was at Blues Alley the night you was there. Yeah. But I always stayed in touch with him. And we were at the Mississippi Valley Blues Festival together. And then we were at what is that? Up in Poconos, up in the Poconos. We were up there together. But James Cotton is unreal. So I do a lot of stuff after him, you know. Yeah.
So you're able to hit the high notes on yours as well.
Oh yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, because somehow. Hey, look, can you do that train sound? Do you have enough time, Sandra? Can he do that?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
All right now.
All right.
Everybody got a train. That's the thing you learn with harmonica.
Yeah.
Everybody got a train. I know you heard that before. Everybody got a train. But I really do appreciate you. I really do. I can say it over and over again.
Oh,
If I could just say something,
all right.
Yes,
Go
yes.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I love the way, Jay, that you bend your notes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
so
yeah,
much.
that's remarkable, man. I
Thank-
toured with Bobby Parker
Oh, yeah.
and Michael Roach. And
Yeah,
on
Mike,
harmonica,
that's my boy.
we had Johnny Mars,
Yeah.
a London boy from that played harmonica. And I mean, he wasn't bending them like you. He got a harmonica endorsement, and they were retuning his harmonicas for him.
Yeah, my buddy does that. Pierre Bogart.
Okay.
Yeah, Pierre does that. Yeah.
But you got a wonderful sound, man. Wonderful.
Thank you, man. Thank you so. Were you with Bobby when he did the TV show on cable?
No, I was only with Bobby and touring with the Michael Roach blues tour.
Okay, yeah, Mike used to come to my house all the time, man. Me and Mike are really close.
Yeah, I talk to him every time I go over there. He won't allow me to stay in the city. You come and stay at my house. You know?
That's right. That's how he is.
Yeah.
You tell him I said hello when you talk to him. My wife and I said hello.
Will do.
Him and his wife used to come by my house all the time. Way in Poolsville.
Will do. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
And stay blessed, man.
Hey, thank you so much.
Can you make sure that I get one of your CDs?
Oh, I can do that. That's no problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought you had one.
Well, it's in store.
Oh, you sold it. That's all.
Probably so, because I gave her one too.
You sold it.
Yes, you did.
I needed some coffee money.
I know you did. Well, that's all right. Then I'll get you another one. Paula, you heard that? I said you need some coffee money.
Well,
all right.
This has been a pleasure. If no one else has any questions,
I have a quick point. This is Amber, actually Jay's daughter.
Whoa, that's my baby.
Yeah. Hearing him talk about how people influence his music, I think he's shortened himself. He has a student, Andy, and we had a 70th birthday party for him. Not this year, but previous February, before COVID, when we could all meet. And I thought it was amazing to see his student come up and play with him and everything that he's taught. So I do want to say, Dad, I do think you are leaving your mark and teaching people that come after you. So that was just amazing to hear Andy play and everything that you taught him. So don't short yourself and say, everyone taught you. You're doing the same. I see you teaching other guys.
Thank you, sweetheart.
So.
Thank you.
And
Hey, look, Sandra, you
that's a
say she
beautiful
was
daughter.
fabulous, didn't you?
Yeah,
You
she's a
say she was
beautiful daughter.
fabulous, didn't you?
Yeah, she's fabulous. Yeah, I did say it, and she is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
But listen, sweetie pie, it is difficult really to talk about yourself. You know, I think we feel more
Yes.
comfortable even when someone else is talking about us. But
Yeah.
and sometimes when we're trying to tell it, we forget, what some of those things. But that's a beautiful thing. I'm thankful. And how old did you say the student was?
Well, it was for my dad's 70th birthday party last
Okay.
year. Yeah, how old is Andy?
Andy's about 30 something. He's about 30 something. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was sitting watching my dad play the whole time, and then my dad called him up, and it was great to see, because did he start with no experience? And
Yeah, he did with no experience. Yeah.
Yeah, so
He played Walking by Myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, is there anyone else who has a comment or a question, or let us know you enjoyed this great conversation with Jay, who actually, what I find in him, even though I joke with him a lot, he seems to be very, very humble. And I see somebody named Marcus. Marcus, go ahead and unmute yourself, Marcus.
Hey, everybody. How
Hi.
everyone doing?
How you doing, Marcus?
Hey Jay. Quick question. When did you start playing the harmonica?
Well, I was young, man, probably about 6 or 7 years old. Yeah, just messing around, and I just never put it down.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I always tried to play with records, always. Never knowing what it sound like, but just always. I used to play a lot of like Bob Dylan stuff because it was more open keys, and Neil Young stuff like that. Just play the melodies and stuff, Started out like that, and then I got advanced. Yeah. So do you
Okay.
play?
Yeah. Actually, I have drummer, have keyboardist.
Uh-huh.
So my main career is like with professional keys.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's great. So what area do you live in?
I'm in the DMV area, but I live in Laurel, Maryland.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Well, if you see me around sometime, come and I play with a band called Little Bit of Blues, and I will have another band called Back Porch Blues, and sometimes I have the J. Sommerour Blues Band. So if you see me around, come up and talk to me, and we can talk a little more.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
Marcus.
You're welcome, Sandra.
Okay, we appreciate you, and stay with us, okay?
I will.
Okay. So, is there anyone
Great.
else that wanted to have anything to say? And it looks like maybe not. Michael, can we close out now, or did anyone else want to just say goodbye or whatever?
No, Sandra, we're good. I just want to take this time to thank you for moderating and interviewing and all your glamorous color here. So, and
And
Ada knows what I mean. And Jay, thank you, man. I really appreciate.
you're
I learned something
welcome.
new, and I look
I like
forward
to
to the
say
days.
something to Jackie too.
Go ahead.
I like to say something to Jackie Lee too. I like to get together with him sometime when he has time, just to have some fun,
Be my pleasure.
All right, that's a bet. All right,
Be
that's a
my
bet.
pleasure.
Hey,
I
hey,
look
Jay.
forward to it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jay.
All right.
Like Sandra said, Jackie, myself, and another brother on bass, we're working on jamming on a virtual platform.
Okay.
We're using a software system called Jam Kazam right now, which allows me and Jackie and James from our comfort of our own homes to practice together.
Okay.
I would love to get your involvement. That would be awesome. And
That would be.
It would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's great.
It gives us a way, hopefully, to plan for the future, but also just to come together as musicians
Okay.
during this time of the Rona and not infect anybody. I'm more worried about my piano catching coronavirus. I couldn't handle that. You know what I'm saying, Jackie?
Especially
You
the
don't
new
want
one.
that to happen.
Jackie, I ain't even playing.
Especially the new one.
Yeah,
That's a
Jack.
new
You
one,
don't
bro.
want
You
that to
know,
happen.
as I told him this morning, between him and his new computer, texting from the computer, and then the new piano,
Yeah,
I was scared that I'm not going to see him anytime soon.
I'm not coming outside.
You can't
Yeah.
say that?
But we've been having a ball on Jam Kazam.
We have
All
been.
right.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun, man.
So
That sounds like fun.
I'll send you an invite or something like that, Jay, and we'll
Okay.
talk. We'll talk. I'll get your number
All
from
right,
Sandra.
that's a bet.
Would just like to do that just to expand more musicians to this platform because, believe it or not, this is the way it's going to be.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Hey,
it is.
this is going to be what's going on, and
Yeah.
people have this tendency to think that they're going back in offices and all that.
Yeah.
But if you look at it financially and sensibly, it's not going to
Yeah,
happen. So this is
No.
the
yeah.
new
It's
norm,
gonna be a
okay?
while anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
the
the
new
new
norm, and
normal.
I ain't mad, okay?
Yeah, it's gonna
Okay.
be a while. Yeah.
Yes, sir. But this is just Jay. This has been very informative and a
Thank you.
wonderful interview. And I want to thank everyone who helped us to make this historic interview a success. So thanks to Silky Sullivan of the Cultural Caucus and the staff, our staff, and Moshe Snowden, who is in Nigeria, who is the person who does our flyers. Michael
Mhm.
McFadden, James Cunningham, and from the DC Legendary Musicians Technical Staff and DCLM photographer Logan Butler Henderson. We thank you so much. And I want the listening and the audience that tuned in to know that on next week, April 27th, we'll have an interview with the great blues man, Mark Warren. So
All
y'all
right.
stay tuned. We be sending information out. I think that him and the Nighthawks and everybody gonna be doing what they do, and we'll be talking to them about that music. Okay.
Sounds
Have
good.
a
All
wonderful
right.
evening, and God bless. Stay safe. Black men,
Everybody.
stay
Everybody.
safe.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right,
guys.
Yeah.
Nice
everybody.
being with you. Yep. You guys
Thank you
Okay.
so
take
Good
care,
much.
job,
okay?
Jay. Good job, Jay.
Thank you,
Yes.
Ada. Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
Sandra.
Thank you,
Everybody.
Jackie.
Amber, you
Oh,
gotta
you're
say
quite
Thank
welcome,
goodbye.
man. It's a pleasure
Oh,
anytime.
thank you.
Yeah, hey man, this made my day.
All right now.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
wonderful. See you
This
guys
made my day.
later.
All right.
Okay, see you
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
guys. Y'all have a good one, okay?
All
Okay.
right,
All right.
Be
Michael.
safe.
Bye-bye.